if this is the biggest one that we've ever seen. All right, sorry, trying to check on a couple of things there, and should be coming to you good. Let us know if the sound's good, the audio is good. The early arrivals tonight here in the mobile Hat Creek Interior Studios, coming to you from Red River and the Red River Brewery, right next to Lifts West. So hopefully we're getting some good sound on it tonight. You guys are ready to go. Thank you, Jeff, for perking up this evening and letting us know what's going on. We'll let you guys get in. Rank the game, most important game in the last 50 years, you tell us. Watching the game Saturday, you've got so many people making plays. We asked the question, who's the most underrated player right now for the Red Raiders? Who would you give that award to? College basketball back, the Lady Raiders in action tonight. The men tomorrow against Lindenwood. It's good, bad, and ugly Monday. Recap of the weekend. And then you've got the Cowboys in Arizona tonight. We'd like to apologize to America. I'd like to apologize to America for forcing this game to be on Monday Night Football. All right, let's get some things going. In three, in two, in one. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Brought to you tonight by Fire and Ice Outdoor Living in Lubbock. Whether it's grills, smokers, everything you need to do great barbecuing and grilling and smoking and cooking, or just cool stuff like outdoor speakers and everything that makes the world even better. They've got it for you. It's out there on Woodrow Road, out by Lubbock Cooper, down by the football stadium. It's easy to get to. It's right there. So give them a holler. Tell our friend Terry we sent you, and we're glad to have you out there. But we are here at the Red River Brewery tonight. By the way, this is the Tucker Brow. This is probably the last batch of the Oktoberfest. So we've got that going for us this evening. I don't know what we're going to have for supper tonight, but I know it's going to be good. All right. Looks like thumbs up from James if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube page or YouTube Live. We appreciate you being out there tonight on our channels. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Twitter X, we got you right there on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. And hopefully the sound's working for everybody tonight. That's why I say, hey, use multiple channels. If one's not working somewhere or whatever the best, move around. Figure out which one's working, and off we go. Now, to the topics tonight. I would submit, in my opinion, you can disagree, but is this the most important game that Texas Tech has played in the last 50 years? I would say it's bigger than the Texas game in 08. And really, the Texas game, while it was a great game, and you were matching up two really good teams that year in a three-team struggle in the Big 12 with Oklahoma waiting for whoever was going to get there. You still had to go through Oklahoma to get anywhere for that game to matter. And part of that game, I think, and going in, it was huge. Going in, people were camping out just like this time. But I think the stakes are even higher than 2008. I think this is a bigger moment than 2008. And obviously, ESPN Game Day is there, and you've got big ABC carrying the game. It's got all the earmarks of it, but that's how we can ask the question: is this the most important game? Because this game can change the trajectory of an entire program. This game can launch Texas Tech, I believe, into the Big 12 title game and give you a great chance to win the regular season championship. And if you get to the Big 12 title game, you're going to be in the college football playoff. Speaking of which, college football playoff, the first rankings are coming up tonight, about the time we get done. I think Texas Tech is probably going to be number 9 in the initial rankings, and BYU probably, just like in the AP rankings, maybe one spot ahead of you. Now, if Texas Tech is not 9, if they're 10, 11, or something else, then what you're going to hear is strength of schedule. I mean, that's something I almost wish we were going to stay around a little bit longer tonight and see maybe how that plays out, but we'll have plenty to discuss tomorrow after the first real rankings matter. We talk about, you needed style points, you needed to look good in the polls because that affects the human psyche and that affects the voters that are out there that are going to craft the playoff committee. So you've done that. You've done everything you can now. You put up a number, you finish the regular season in the top 10 in the AP poll. Now it's up to what this group is going to say, I think, largely about the strength of schedule. If they want a reason to not put Tech in the top 10, that's going to be it. All right? So listen for that tonight. Jump in on the United Supermarkets chat line, Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, our Facebook friends jumping in tonight, and then, of course, our YouTube channel. Boy, YouTube, you guys are strong on the Rewind this weekend. I want to thank everybody who watched Raiderland Rewind, brought to you by Live Life Well Clinic. because you guys put up a huge number over the weekend. Ryan gets us going on Facebook. So if Tech were 11-2 after the Big 12 title game, you think they get in the playoff? Prima facie, yes. Are you saying that they're in the Big 12 title game and lose? Yes, I definitely think Texas Tech is in the college football playoff. If they play in the Big 12 title game, they get there with one loss, ostensibly could be the Big 12 regular season champ under that scenario. I absolutely think they would be in the college football playoff because they would be going into that Big 12 title game somewhere around 5 or 6, probably in the rankings, in the college football playoff rankings by the time that rolled around. You'd have a ton of skins on the wall, and whoever you lose to at that point is going to have had a really good season. Yeah, 100%. What you don't want a chance is losing tomorrow. What day of the week is it, honey? It's what? It's Monday? You lose Saturday and the path becomes very difficult to the college football playoff, let alone the Big 12 title game. Jump in on that United Supermarkets and Market Street chat line. They'll get all your tailgating needs taken care of this week as you get ready. And hey, it's an early game. Don't be waiting until Friday or Saturday morning to get your tailgate put together. Get out there this week, guys. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, lay in the supplies. Get everything iced down. Make it happen. So rank this game in importance the last 50 years. I say it's the biggest game this Texas Tech program has played since 1976. Bigger than 2008. Bigger than Texas. And for those of you who want to go down the road to the Oklahoma game, no. You were 14.5-point underdogs going to Norman in 2008. You were undefeated. Think about that for a minute. And we all remember the debacle in Norman. Some people were there and survived it. I mean, you didn't have a chance. Even after beating Texas and beating Oklahoma State the next weekend, you didn't have a chance. You haven't, not just a chance. I haven't even looked at the spread today for Texas Tech and BYU. Somebody give me the current spread on that, if you don't mind. Look it up for me and fire away on the comments. I say this is bigger. James jumps in on our Facebook page. Ryan and I, it's Raiderland. I think this game is the most important, bigger than any bowl game we played in. 100% absolutely. This game is bigger than any bowl game because of all the bowl games you played in the last 50 years, none of them would have netted you a chance at a national title, anything other than salve the wounds of maybe a frustrating season. And even in 08, that was a team that limped into the Cotton Bowl. You beat Baylor at the end of the regular season. Graham Harrell's dinged up. Nobody wanted to be at the 08 Cotton Bowl game. Jeff jumps in on that YouTube channel. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. You guys, we're 600 subscribers strong. We'd love to hit 700 by the end of the week. So hit thumbs up, share it, invite some people in. If you're just tuning in, we're in the mobile Hat Creek Interior Studios. You don't have to own a ranch to live like you do. All you got to do is drop by South Slide Road, 10101. Look at that amazing showroom. Or go to hatcreek.us. They ship anywhere. Amazing Western furniture. Jeff jumps in next. Beverage sip. Big 12 game of the year, and our Red Raiders have been in both of them. Agree it's the biggest since 76. And we'll go back and kind of detail how that 76 thing played out. I know we've got some folks that may not have been walking around in 76, let alone to paying attention. One of the OGs, Craig, is in on our Facebook page, and indeed the talking box is on here in Red River, New Mexico. Steps away from Lifts West Hotel and Condominium. We're at the Red River Brewery, enjoying the Tucker Brow Oktoberfest. I mean, when the owner names a beer after his dog, you know the beer's going to be good. Charles in on Facebook. I'm going to quote him directly here. Yes, massive game. Been waiting several years for this. Glad to see the excitement heading into this one. Boy, there's going to be severe sports anticipation for this one. It's going to be a hard week. And now we don't have the World Series to get us through. You got a dog of a Monday night football game, but at least it's the Cowboys, for better or for worse. Do we have Maction tomorrow? Maybe we got some Maction. Boy, we got basketball. Thank you, Krista Gerlich and the Lady Raiders tonight. Thank you, Grant McCaslin, opening up against Lindenwood. My wife is the associate producer tonight. Remind me before we get out of here to tell the first time I ever heard that there was a school named Lindenwood. and how that came about. So yeah, we got some stuff. Anybody dip into the college basketball? Watch any of that today on ESPN? Michael gets in on our YouTube channel. If Tech loses this weekend and wins the rest, and Arizona State wins every game, does ASU take your spot in the Big 12? Let's see. Both have. Would that be 2 losses for both? I believe. Yeah, they'd have the tie break on you. Listen, if Texas Tech loses this week, you've got to have losses to Arizona State, I believe. Not sure if you need another one on BYU, and then Cincinnati maybe, because you can't beat Cincinnati and they've got their loss. The bottom line is if you lose this game, there's not a real viable scenario to me of getting to the Big 12 title game. Greg said, I just got back from Red River yesterday. See, depending on when you left, we were maybe in Red River at the same time, or like we passed each other somewhere between Mosquero and Roy, or maybe Logan and Mosquero, that you could have been going one way. How many cars do you think we saw between Logan and Mosquero yesterday? 3? 2? Amazingly light traffic. And yet here we are the first week of November in Red River, and I would say for an off-season time, this is about as busy as I've seen it, with a lot of people in town, a lot of stuff going on. Brewery's cranking tonight. A lot of good people. We just ran into some great Red Raider fans who have season tickets, and they also have a place in Angel Fire. Spent a lot of time up here. Shout out to them making the short drive over to the brewery tonight. James, will this be the toughest O-line Texas Tech has played this year? I want to give that title to Utah. Utah grades out a little higher if you look at maybe pro picks and all that good stuff. But there's no way to go around what we have watched this BYU offensive line do on the field. And, of course, they beat Utah. They went there and they had a slow start there at Iowa State, and then they just dropped the hammer and never looked back. And we'll have a lot of time, James, this week to kind of break down some of the X's and O's. And automatically right off the bat, it's going to be Tech defensive front against BYU's offensive front. Can you take their big, strong freshman quarterback and make him one-dimensional? Can you put him behind the chains and force him to do something he's maybe not comfortable with, which is throwing the ball a lot on 3rd and 6, 7, and 8? Well, we'll take a long look at that because, man, we got to stretch some stuff out this week. You can also give us the most underrated Red Raider so far this year. I would submit to you, and it's hard on a team that is playing so well that anybody could be underrated at this point. Cameron Dickey, even after being almost totally ignored for 2 weeks, still leads the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns. I think he's at 11. He's got a chance to lead the league in rushing through no fault of Mac Leftwich. That's right, I said it. I still think Cameron Dickey is underrated as a true sophomore running back. But then again, the friends of Jacoby Williams may come back and say, what about him? What about that man? John Curry on the other side of the ball. Am I saying this because he's a Coronado Mustang, a fellow Coronado Mustang? Yes. Well, not completely. Watch games, and even though if they don't call his name, isn't he always there around the ball? I mean, unless they throw it deep downfield. Who would your underrated players be? If you want to do some good, bad, and ugly recaps, we can do that. The bad on the trip up, the best place to eat in Logan, New Mexico is a little place called the Annex. Great burgers, fries, sandwiches, stuff like that. I mean, it's just good straight-ahead stuff. They decided when they found out me and my wife were coming up here, they'd close on Sundays. That's ridiculous. I refuse to allow that to happen. We're going to have a chat with Logan, New Mexico on the way back. Jeff gets in on the YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, on YouTube, Facebook Live, and then on Twitter X, it's at Ryan Hyatt Media. Subscribe to them all. BYU Alumni Group, says Jeff, is partnering with Texas Tech Alumni Association on a book drive for Lubbock literacy. BYU could become a friendly rivalry with football and men's basketball. Why would anyone want a friendly rivalry? That sounds so boring. You go there, they give you ice cream. They come here, they bring books. I don't want anyone. I don't want some sports hate. Bring me Utah, all right? That's the Utah team we'll have a rivalry with. I don't want a friendly rivalry. Chris says this will be the toughest defensive line that BYU has played this year. We might be able to make the case. Whoever plays Texas Tech will be playing the toughest defensive line that they've played all year. If there's no Romello Height, the nation is talking about David Bailey. If there's no David Bailey, the nation is talking about Romello Height. Lee Hunter, Holmes, my goodness, an embarrassment of riches. Oh, and there's a decent linebacking core out there as well. I look at the defensive front now, not as the four-man front, but as the, 6 or 7 man house that you're able to build. And we'll say it one more time. The best thing that Shieldwood has been able to do schematically is get pressure home with a base front, not having to blitz very much. It allows containment on running quarterbacks. You saw it. Avery Johnson got loose on one really good schemed up play there against Texas Tech early in the game. You got to give credit where credit's due. Matt Wells, Chris Kleiman schemed up a really nice play by formation motion, and then he got outside that. There was nobody home. The rest of the time, Tech bottled him up. Frustrating. Jan gets in tonight. A late husband left his Silver Belly Stetson on a hat rack in a restaurant. Uncredited morning. Whatever that is. One morning, we left to come home. Never been back. Was a long time ago. The biggest game must have been at BYU. I will see unless they make the playoffs in the national championship game. I assume she's grabbing about BYU fans, stealing her husband's hat. Well, that's enough for a fight. James gets in on that Facebook page. Underrated player, the field goal team. I like where you're going, and it really is a field goal team. Got Arrington, Belafonte, doinked an extra point the other day. It happens. Cam Dickey off of YouTube will be the difference maker this weekend. Run the damn ball. That's right, RTDB. Say it all over again and over again. Establish the run, use the run both Dickey and Williams, and throw the ball downfield a little bit. Mac, it's okay to throw more than 3 or 4 passes beyond 15 yards. We're settling into these little hit screen, bubble screens, whatever. Now, one might come back to me and say, Hyatt, as an offensive coordinator, you don't understand. This offensive line is subpar, it's substandard. They can't block long enough to wait for guys to get open downfield. If that's the case, then Cody Campbell has to come back again this winter and say, I will, ... again, and try to get a better offensive line. I'm beginning to wonder if that is part of the problem going downfield, that they don't believe they can call the play because they don't believe they can block it. Chris, Bailey gets most of the attention, but Height is the all to this engine. Height's just a blast to watch. I would hate to be an offensive coordinator trying to do pass protection schemes. You feel like you got to double Bailey because if Bailey gets home, he gives up a sack and you didn't double him, you're going to get chewed out. So then what do? You've got to leave a back end on the other side and work against Height, who can speed rush the back and just blow right by him. Or do you leave a tight end on the Height side, double with your tackle guard? Guess what now? A-gap, wide open, nobody right there. Now it's one-on-one with Hunter or Holmes up there in the A-gap, and they get such a deep push that the quarterback can't step up into the pocket. And when they line up Bailey and Height, sometimes on the same side, I'm surprised the Big 12, in a ruling that would have been a vote that would have been 15-1, hasn't come back and voted that that's illegal for Texas Tech to do. Working our way through the Monday night daily broadcast here in the mobile Hat Creek Interior Studios back home in Lubbock. You're looking for great Western style furniture. You're looking for Hat Creek Interiors, hatcreek.us. We're at the Red River Brewery right next to Lifts West Hotel and Condominium. Ski, we'll send some pictures tomorrow. They're shooting snow already on the slopes. That's a good sign. Get that Thanksgiving, get some runs open for Thanksgiving. Call our friend Billy Hurst at Lifts West and make your winter plans right now. All right, back to the United Supermarkets chat line as we got about another 10 minutes or so left with you here tonight. Any risk of you being snowed in again this year, says Craig. Nope. We are experiencing what I would say is balmy temperatures today, up into the, I guess, maybe around 60 or some higher than that. Did we get over 60, 65? I mean, it was warm today, but it's getting cold enough, long enough at night that they can make some snow. But nope, unlike last year where, what was it, Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, and we were scheduled to leave Thursday.
It started snowing on Monday.
No, it was clear on Monday. I can go back and look at the photographic evidence because I don't think it was snowing completely on Tuesday on Election Day.
How much you want to bet on that?
All right, we're going to put a bet on this. And when the snow started falling last year, about this time, 1 year ago today, driving rain and snow flurries in 24 hours. Okay, so it did start on Monday. I thought it started the day after the election. Charles, Facebook. Do you think K-State and Johnson were a good warm-up for BYU's Bachmeier? He's a scrambling quarterback, more of a bruiser. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, BYU's freshman quarterback, not a speed guy like Johnson. I hope they run him because I think that'll play right into Texas Tech's hands. I really do. I hope they run him. I feel like this Texas Tech defense is better against quarterbacks who want to run first, pass second, than they are against a Sam Levitt who wants to pass first and then hand the ball over to somebody else second. I really do. Jan. Oh, hold on. Let's go to Jan. Biggest game, 50 years ago into Tech games. Husband left his silver belly Stetson on a hat rack. The morning we left Red River heading home, never going back, all because of a hat. Well, where do you leave it? I'll look for it. It was 50 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. JC Double T. You're in the Lubbock Skiers Golden Triangle. Take a different route. We take 84. That's more conducive to Taoist, perhaps. Red River, awesome. Underrated. Wisniewski, yes. Another guy who's just there in the back end of the defense, always showing up, making plays, getting in there. What do we have to say? We've got all the cliches. He's a ball hawk. He's got a nose for the ball. And dare I say, he's a student of the game. Jeff, if Martin's back, if Martin's out for BYU, we'll roll them. I have not seen injury reports today. We're going to trust that BYU, Sitaki will give us a fair one as opposed to the other Utah coach. He's not as fast. He runs differently. Robert Billenstone on YouTube. I don't think the O-line is subpar. Well, in that case, then they played horribly really the last 3 weeks. Okay, horribly for 2 weeks and average last week. Still got bullied, pushed around, and did not protect Baron Morton very well at various times. So if they're not subpar, then they're playing poorly and they're making a tremendous amount of free snap mistakes, and they're not disciplined. So you got to take your pick on this. If they're really good, they're playing well below their potential. JC, gentlemen, while I appreciate your genius, we can throw the ball to set up the run. Tech should be able to throw it all over the yard. Running might be a long road to hoe. I'll disagree with you on this team that I think the strength really of Baron Morton is still play action passing. I think this receiving group is not nearly as deep as some people would wish it were. And with some injuries you've had a little bit, maybe it slowed them down there. But I really think this team is much more effective and will get much better looks for particularly Coy Aiken. And I think even Virgil to an extent, but really Coy Aiken. If you can walk and get them out of 2-high safety, and you can walk them down because they've got to build a bigger house and a bigger box because you're establishing the run, you're going to have a lot better chance to pop it downfield. If not, you're stuck with the dink and dunk passes, which I think is not good. Jeff, the O-line is marginal. Now we're looking for a thesaurus to go with different ways to describe this O-line. Substandard, average, not what you thought, playing less than their capability. And the false starts are just maddening. It doesn't matter whether it's Hammond or whether it's been Baron Morton back there. They clap differently, you know. The false starts have been I'm sorry, Kansas State wasn't loud enough. Most of these places, when you played at Utah, that's the only place that I think you could attribute it to a sound level that would have caused you to jump off sides. And I know a lot of people want to go with the silent count. Easier said than done, I think, at the college level for a lot of different reasons. Would it be nice if you could do it? Yep, it would. But it doesn't seem to be in the repertoire. JC, getting hungry for hot wings, watching the dude behind you. Did we just get an order of wings brought out to the bar? I missed it. I think they have 3 or 4 different flavors. They serve them up naked. You get the sauce on the side here at Red River Brewery. Don't sleep on their giant pretzel. We literally had that for supper kind of last night. It was pretty darn good. And that mustard was really good too. It tasted just like a beer cheese sauce. I kept thinking it was like a hot mustard that they brought out. My wife finally told me, that's a beer cheese sauce. I said, well, that explains a lot. Bring another beer, please. Have you figured out what are we looking at now?
I'll eat a brisket sandwich.
Sandwich of brisket? You've been wanting the barbecue all day because you can smell the smoker. They've got the big smoker out back here at the brewery where, depending on where you're standing at Lifts West, you can smell that wonderful barbecue smell wafting through. Thank you, Jeff. My producer has failed with just moments left. So Tech basketball opening up with Lindenwood, and that'll be tomorrow night there. And then the actual non-conference schedule is really good for Tech this year. I wish they played better games at home. You fans deserve better buying the season tickets and everything. The home non-conference schedule is direct. It's okay to play Duke and Madison Square Garden, but hey, play some good games here. So in 1999, Texas Tech baseball is playing a non-conference series there in like late February, early March, and it's against Lindenwood. None of us at the station have ever heard of Lindenwood. And I'll never forget, I think it was J.P. Horn doing either a show or a sportscast. And I'm driving down the road, and I hear him say, yeah, and in a strange move, Texas Tech baseball, a series this week against Lyndon Weiss. We didn't even know the Lady Raider assistant coach had a baseball program, but we're proud to welcome Lyndon Weiss to Danlaw Field. Be sure to get your tickets, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't tell at first whether he was kidding or serious. We had never heard of Lindenwood. There were programs, and I'm a guy who called Tech baseball against Kearney State out of Nebraska back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I didn't know you could find anything more obscure. So credit to Tech basketball for finding the obscure Lindenwood. James on Facebook, it's sad I expect a false start when Tech gets in the 20 or has momentum. Boy, and that's been the other thing for the offensive line. Horrible timing. There's probably 5 red zone possessions that have gone from touchdown to field goal and field goal to nothing this year with false start penalties. Chris, Lindenwood, don't they own some townhomes in Lubbock? We're looking into that. A couple of more minutes left with you here in the Mobile Hat Creek Interiors Studios. We're at the Red River Brewery. We're going to be here again this week. We're going to be all over the place. We'll archive this later on the website tonight, theraiderland.com. So never miss a thing when you're hanging out with us. Jim gets in on our YouTube channel. Timbo, this team is legit. We all had our doubts in 2008, in my opinion. I don't know that you had doubts in 2008. You had the close call, by the way, against Nebraska. Obviously, Texas was a close call. Thank you, Blake Gideon, for dropping the pass. But why I say this was bigger, that what's in front of you, 2 teams you can beat, Big 12 title game, you're in the college football playoff. College football is a bigger sport now than it was in 2008, bigger than 1976. In 76, the Houston game, for those wondering, so you beat Texas 31-28 in a great game in October, late October. You come back after beating TCU and SMU. You got number 9 Houston. You're ranked 5th in the country, undefeated. This is the Rodney Allison interception in the end zone. 27-19 Houston wins. You go beat Arkansas in the Hills, Baylor to close out the year. 1 loss, Astro Bluebonnet Bowl. Allison gets hurt, returns from the Bluebonnet Bowl against Vince Ferragamo, and you get beat by the Nebraska Cornhuskers in a bowl game that was nice but didn't matter. And this is why we say the last 50 years, because if you beat Houston that day and you win those next 2 games, you're going to the Cotton Bowl and you're potentially playing for a national championship in 1976. And I cannot remember if that was Houston, Notre Dame, or who Houston played in that Cotton Bowl. But you would have had a shot, and the Cotton Bowl had the ability to bring in, they weren't tied in on both ends. They could bring in anybody they wanted against the Southwest Conference champion. So that's why I say 50 years. And I say what's in front of you is certainly bigger than 2008 because you were never going to beat OU. You just weren't going to do it. All right, we'll clean up the comments as they come in for a few more minutes here. It's the daily broadcast at Red River Brewery right next to Lives West Hotel and Condominium. Getting you on the United Supermarkets chat line. United Supermarkets ready to take care of you back home for all of your tailgating needs. Good, says Chris on Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media. Tech finally beating K-State. Yeah, not to gloss over that. Good Lord. House of Horrors. And you wore them down, and you wore them out, and then you blew them out. The bad, on good, bad, and ugly. All these teams wearing black this weekend. Looking at you, Nebraska and Tennessee. Agreed. Not a school color. Don't wear it. And the ugly. The way Denny Hamlin lost the championship. True story yesterday. So we're getting in here to Red River, settling in at Lives West. And the last update I'd seen, I didn't get to see any of the race. I didn't get to do anything. And the last update I see on my phone is either 3 or 6 laps to go, Hamlin leading. I'm thinking, well, son of a gun, he finally got his piston cup. He did what in the cup? It was like, well, that's good. You know, I'm not a big Denny Hamlin fan or whatever, but he's been star-crossed. And this generation's Mark Martin, for those who follow NASCAR. I'm like, well, that's not. And then, you know, later on, I'm like, hold on. Kyle, what? Late caution, 3 laps to go. I guess they took 4. It looked like they gave up track position at Phoenix, and they get beat. That's ugly. I can almost root for Denny Hamlin going forward. And it's weird to say that at 44 he's still young. I think that was the year before, if you're talking about the 76 Cotton Bowl. It would be the 76 season 77 Cotton Bowl that University of Houston played in. So New Year's Day 1977. I thought the Utes were the Bearcats wearing black. Again, why do you do that? I hate it. All right, I guess it's almost time for Monday Night Football. Take the over, 53 tonight. I don't like the sides. At Dallas -3, 3.5. Who knows what's going to happen? 2 bad to average football teams that America is forced to watch. We'll be with you later on tonight when we archive this on the website. Meanwhile, you can share it on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, on our Facebook page, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and of course, everybody sign up for our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everything's free all the time. Share this and invite some people in, and we'll be back. We'll probably be back over here at the brewery tomorrow for another big daily broadcast. Ton of Texas Tech stuff all weekend long. You guys have a great night. Go to our sponsors, Power of 5, and 5 people every night. Go to our sponsors' Facebook pages, social media feeds, and tell them thanks for supporting Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. It means a ton to them. All right, we'll be back with you tomorrow. Had a lot of fun. Thank you to Michael Calhoun and the entire staff here at Red River Brewery, and we'll see you at theraiderland.com.